difficult decisions, even if that costs me the next election. And I insist that just looking at allocation to education, with due respect to Professor, to my senior comrade, whether the envelope is lean or thin is only a little part of the question. Whether the money is released is yet another little part. The real question is what gets released? How judiciously is it applied? In what way is it applied? And the point made by the last speaker there just portrayed the point I was making, that, somebody told me Nigeria parents spend money to bribe to get their children to school. Why should parents go and bribe for children to go to miracle schools? They are victims. Because if the pupils have not been taught, my mother rightly feels that her own time is over, but that the child could make a difference. She sends me to a primary school in my village. We finished, we found that there is no secondary school. They summoned a meeting of all the sons and daughters who can contribute so that we can have a community school. Now the parents have raised money to build a private community secondary school. And then, now where are the teachers? The teachers are posted there. The governor's uncle, the deputy governor's cousin, the permanent secretary's nephew, everybody gets his own relations posted out of rural areas, and there are privileged schools in Benin City. How can my village produce even another comrade who can argue, not to talk of carry placard? So I think the issue when we talk of leadership, my understanding is that we need to be able to sit back and ask ourselves, from tomorrow, you ask the question, must we allow the Nigerian child to be in a classroom, be taught by a teacher who doesn't know how to spell the word teacher? Should we invest our political capital to identify those ones, shield them out, and replace them with those who are willing to teach? The paradox today is that across the country, we have a lot of people who read education, whether you force them to do it or they did it on their own. They have finished. They are even roaming the streets. Of course, they're not going to get employment with Stanbic Bank, even though sometimes you employ people who read biology. However, the point, however, is, how can we continue to live with this paradox of people who are trained to teach, they have no jobs, and those who were never trained to teach are in our classroom, and we don't have the political will to put them out and put in the right guys. And we're just looking at budgetary allocation. I think for the university system, again, that is dealing with the consequences. But when people can't pass on the basis of what they were not taught, then you need miracles, you need connection. Sir, it is during your time that we start to have what they call VC list, registrars list, principals list, governors list. It was never the case before. And I think there is no need to pretend that we are on. We are not. Even the mint that you talk about is based on certain wrong assumptions. I think the crisis that we face, even what we saw at the stadium, all those are consequences of the fact that for over 20 years, governments after government, look the other way. The vice president is here. Thank you. We do have what you call UBEC to provide resources to augment those of the state so that we can make additional investment in basic education. And as we speak, there are many states who have not paid their counterpart funding, and as a result, their children are under the tree. And when you ask, they say there is no money. I have argued officially that we can't boast of state-of-the-art government house, state-of-the-art bulletproof cars, and yet we leave our children under the trees. So it's all about leadership, it's about courage, it's about the good heart, and it's about convictions. And being ready to say, look, I am not properly dressed.
Yeah. Okay,
there is no need to be ashamed about it. So
yes,
for me, we do need our political leadership at all levels to
okay,
go back to the basic beyond symbolism, beyond, some samples of what is perfect.
Okay, so we go back.
Recognize that we are in deep shit if we are going to meet the challenge of the next century.
Okay. All right. The gospel. So thank you very much. The gospel, according to Governor Oshiomhole, is we should go back to the basics. Let me ask Professor Ebidakogwe in one sentence, because we have to wrap up now. In one sentence, the whole nation is watching this live on Channels Television. The rest of the world, they're watching this on the internet on our YouTube channel, and all of Nigeria is represented here. What is the one thing that you will say if we start doing tomorrow in one or two sentences? That one thing that you feel if we start doing tomorrow, it will reposition our concept of leadership and how we begin to manage our institution of learning or institutions of learning better. In one or two sentences.
One sentence, merit. We need to go back to merit. We need to go back to merit. People should be admitted to institutions on merit. You should get jobs on merit. And we should forget about all these stories about where you come from or who you know.
Okay, merit. I'll ask Your Excellency because I'm coming this way, but I only need this in one sentence, maximum two. Your Excellency, what is the one thing that will change the face of education, especially in the realm of leadership in Nigeria?
Courage on the part of political leadership, on the part of the president, the vice president, the governor, the minister, and the commissioners. To return to merit, we must have a system in which only teachers who merit to be in the classroom are dumped on these kids, not the one that knows the minister. So in all of this, one word, courage and the right amount of allocation to the sector and judicious application of what is released to the sector.
All right, thank you very much. Mrs. David Bora.
I come back to good governance. I think if we have strong institutions that are well managed, that publish accounts, and disclose, all their practices, that you will have a better educational system. So good governance